Greetings to you all. Hope you are doing well. This is English language, and in this video we are going to continue from where we ended when we are looking at punctuation marks. In the first video we defined punctuation marks. We also listed some of the types of punctuation marks. In this presentation, we are now going to go in details explaining the meaning of each of the types that we listed. Please, you have to pay attention so that you understand this. Remember as well that punctuation marks are very important in any academic writing, either a composition that you've been given to or assigned to write, or anything that you are told. If you miss out punctuation marks, then obviously that won't be correct. Without much wastage of time, let's start with the first one, capital letters. We want to know when and where should you use capital letters. We use capital letters, the first one, to begin sentences. Whenever you are you're beginning a sentence, make sure that the first letter is capitalized. Let's look at this. This is the margin of your book, okay? Then we have lines. Imagine this is your book, yeah? Then this is the margin. I want to begin a sentence. Let's say the sentence is, my name is Evans Kalunga. That's a sentence, complete sentence, group of words. Now the way I'm going to start that, my name, I'm very much interested in the first letter, my. You see that? Then I say my name, then it goes up. So the interest here is the way you are going to start your sentence. Whenever you are starting a sentence, the first letter should always be capital. That is key. Don't think this is correct when you start your sentence like that. It is wrong. Very, very wrong. So that's the first thing. We have an example here. We should show love to those infected with HIV and AIDS. Now, the interest is on this letter, W. Have you seen? I've started the sentence here. Therefore, the first one here should be capital. Now, the other area of concern is this one here. The English alphabet has 26 letters. 26 letters, from A to Z. Now, these letters have capital or small letters, okay? That is letter A. Letter A. So now, this is capital letter A, and then this is small letter a. It doesn't matter the type of handwriting that you learned when you were at school. Some passed through private schools where they were taught cursive, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how it is written. Why am I driving this point? It's because of this. We have this book here, okay? Then someone wants to write, let's say, capital letter B is written that way, right? Then we have small letter b, like that. Then you want to write the word book. Obviously, book will be written like that. That shows that the first letter is capital. Now, this is whereby our students, our pupils, would say book. Book. Like that. Then when I ask you, you start saying, no, sir, Mr. Kalunga, actually, it is capital letter B because it is big. No, we need to know that when it is written in this way, it means capital. When it is written in this way, it means small. By writing it big doesn't mean it is now capital. No, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. You just increase the font, then you start saying, no, it is big or it is capital. No, there are ways of writing this. So please take note of that. C, you need to know that when it is like this, is C. Capital letter C, it is like this. Small letter C, like that. Is it? Then when we talk about D, we are talking about this. Small d. Hope this is clear. Hope this is clear. In short, what I'm trying to say here is knowing that when I write it in this form, in this format, it is capital. When it is in this format, it is small. Please bear that in mind. I don't want such kind of instances. You just increase a small letter, you just increase it, then you conclude to say it is capital. No. Let's get back to this now. Apart from this first point where we use capital letters to begin sentences, we also use capital letters to begin proper nouns. A noun is a naming word, and we have different types of nouns. We have proper nouns, improper nouns, countable, uncountable, all those types of nouns. But the interest is whenever you are starting a proper noun, you are supposed to start with a capital letter. Examples are Monday, Tuesday. Those are proper nouns. They are proper nouns. Monday is supposed to be capital letter M. It doesn't matter where this Monday is in a sentence. It can be at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. It should be capital letter M because it is a proper noun. Let's talk about names of people. Patricia is an example here. But some of you, if you check even on the cover page of your book, you find that you've written your name in small letters, everything, inclusive of the first letter. That is wrong. Very wrong, because your name is a proper noun. Therefore, you're supposed to start with a capital letter. Hope we are together. Okay, hope we are together. Apart from this one, we also use capital letters for titles of books. Titles of books, the play, newspapers, and other publications. You can start with a capital letter. For example, Times of Zambia. That is the name of the newspaper, Times of Zambia. So the T and Zambia there must be capital. All right? Also, for official titles, a capital letter must be there. For example, the President of Zambia. Have you seen? And have you seen this? The President of Zambia for official titles. We use capital letters also for all nouns and pronouns that show holiness. For example, the interest here is about showing holiness. A very good example here is He is the Almighty. Who are we talking about here? God, Jehovah God, isn't it? So we are talking about, it is showing holiness here. So He is this one here. Because it is showing holiness here, it is supposed to be a capital letter. Almighty. Hope we are together with capital letters. You need to know when capital letters must be used and when they are not supposed to be used. Beginning a sentence. That is my interest there. Now, you also need to understand that whenever you end a sentence, for example, I'll say, my name is Evans, okay, Kalunda. Have you seen that? This is a sentence. And then at the end of this sentence, there will be what? A full stop. When I put that full stop there, it is an indication that this sentence has come to an end. If I want to start another sentence joining this first one here, I have to start with a capital letter. Please bear that in mind. I'll say, he continues, like that. Have you seen that? So here is a full stop, then the next letter there. For as long as you're beginning a new sentence, there must be a capital letter. Hope we are together with that. Let's move on to the next. Number 2, the full stop. Full stop. This is the symbol. It is also called period. So when you hear some people say period, then they say that's the end, is it? Well, the full stop is used, the first part is used at the end of the statement or at the end of the sentence. Okay, when the sentence comes to an end, then there must be a full stop. Hope we are together. Alright, when you leave it hanging like that, then we'll not be able to know whether the sentence has come to an end. But immediately you punctuate it, immediately you put the full stop, then you're saying the sentence has come to an end. Another sentence will begin. It is also used in a mild command. You can use a full stop to show a mild command. For example, in here, you are not talking about the full command or a strong command, but you're talking about a mild command. An example is here. Bring me the work tomorrow. Bring me the work tomorrow. Ends there. You're not shouting. Bring me the work tomorrow. No. It is a mild command. Bring me the work tomorrow. Full stop. Hope we are together there. Also, it is used in reported statement. Remember, we have reported speech. That is what we mean by reported statement here. We are talking about reported speech. An example is given here. You are reporting something, That is reported speech. He told him to go. He told him to go. Ends there. You have reported. You have reported. He told you to go. Ends there. So in any reported speech or statement, a full stop must be applied at the end of the sentence. The full stop is also used in abbreviations. An example is USA, United States of America. It is an abbreviation, so we just said USA. Yes, there. When we say ZP, this is an abbreviation for Zambia or this. So here you can't say Z, P. No. And whenever you are representing abbreviations, there must be capital letters. Okay, there must be capital letters in this case, in this form. So USA, you can't write it like this. No, that is wrong. Well, let's now move on to the third one, or the third type of punctuation mark, which is the question mark. The question mark. Here is the symbol, and here is the way it is supposed to be written. Now, for this question mark, it is usually put at the end of a question. at the end of a question. That is where the question mark must be applied. An example is, did you call him? But we have seen people say, did you call him? You put a full stop here. Then what are you communicating? What are you trying to say? How are you? Then there's a comma at the end. Or there's a full stop at the end. What are you trying to say? Because the marks here, these punctuation marks, are there for communication. So that the person who is marking your papers or the person who is marking the scripts is able to understand, because you are communicating. In short, we are saying you are talking to that person, not face to face, but through what you have written. So please, these are very, very important. Very important. So there quite be a lot of examples that we may cite. How are you? You leave it hanging there without any mark. Whether you're asking or what and what. Yes, some words will show that it's a question like how, but it is important, ladies and gentlemen, to punctuate them. Okay? Number 4, exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. This is the symbol for that mark, exclamation mark. It is used after strong commands. Strong commands. Statements said with great emphasis. Interjections and sentences expressing surprise, disbelief, or strong feelings. That is when you are supposed to use exclamation marks. For example, wow! Have you seen that? Wow! And that is exactly the way you'll be able to surprise them this year when you score those good grades that you're waiting for. They will just be like, wow! Not whereby you're saying, wow! Saying wow, comma. No. It is a strong feeling. Okay, wow! They'll be surprised. Unbelievable. Okay, unbelievable. Then there must be this mark at the end. Or go. You see the difference which is there between the exclamation mark and the full stop when you're supposed to put the full stop? This one is about strong command. Unbelievable. Wow. Such kind of expressions. That is where the exclamation mark is used. Number 5, the apostrophe. This is the symbol like that, huh? But where exactly do we use? 2 main uses are, 1, it shows possession. It shows possession, somebody's thing. An example is here, Mark's shirt. Whose shirt is this? It is for Max. Are you saying? So now here we say Max's shirt. Whose shirt? I see that. So to show that it is somebody's shirt, that is what we are calling. That is what we are saying possession. Huh? Somebody's property, so to say. Now, let me also guide you on this one. Max's shirt. Now I have my name. Let me say, this is the way it must be spelled, Evans. Now, if I want to say the same way here, Max's shirt, you've seen the way it is supposed to be done, eh? Now, if I want to use my name, I will say Evans's shirt. Why is it like that? Why is this different from this? Now look at this. Have you seen the letter K here? If a name ends with this letter S, any name, for as long as it ends with S, there is no repetition. You cannot say Evans is shaped like this. That is wrong. If you try to check, those of you good in reading the Bible, if you try to check everywhere, you will not be able to find something written like this. Jesus' disciples. Never. Because the word Jesus ends with the S. You will not be able to find this. It is only like this. So, when you do this, then you are saying Jesus is followers. Jesus is disciples. For as long as the name ends with that, there is no repetition. Never should you write like that. Don't write like this. Only if the other letters, with other letters except S. Hope we are together with that point. Well, the other part where this apostrophe is used shows that a letter or letters has been left out in a word. There's a letter that has been omitted in a word. For example, I can't read with this light. Have you seen this word, can't? Apostrophe there. This shows that there's a letter or letters that have been omitted. Can't, we are talking about cannot. So there are letters that have been omitted. Hence, you put an apostrophe. Wasn't, that is was not, right? You put that apostrophe. These are the two main uses of this apostrophe here. I need also to remind you of this word, I. You've seen it? I can't read with this light, but my interest, what I've seen and observed, is on the use of this I. I can't do this, I can't do this. Let me put it this way. Let me write a sentence here. Let me construct a sentence. I'll say, it was raining heavily, so much that I couldn't go to school. Okay, my interest is on this word, I. It was raining heavily, so much that I couldn't go to school. Full stop. Now look at this I here. So much that I couldn't. Never in any sentence should you use a small letter I to represent you. Either at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. This should always be a capital letter. I have seen this. I've seen this mistake. This should always be a capital letter, even inside the sentence. As long as you're talking about yourself, I couldn't do this. That should be a capital letter, I. Please, that is an emphasis there. Hope we are together. Okay? Number 6, the comma. The comma. Here is a symbol for the comma. Alright? Now some commas, the way some of you write a comma like this. No. It should not be this big. Okay? This is the punctuation mark that suggests a slight pause. It is a punctuation mark that suggests a slight pause. The sentence hasn't come to an end, but you just want to pause. In that scenario, you are going to put a comma. It is used, the first part, to separate items in a list. You use a comma to separate items in a list. For example, I went to the market to buy onion, comma, tomatoes, comma, I see that, and bananas. You are separating items. So in that way, comma must be used. Potatoes, comma, onion, comma, bananas, comma, and. You see that? Potatoes, comma, bananas, comma, onion, comma, mangoes, and the final one, which could be guava. Okay, so you are separating items. So in that way, you'll be putting commas. Not only that, to also separate two adjectives referring to the same noun. What do we mean by this? The public health officer was a friendly, comma, beautiful lady. You are separating adjectives that are referring to the same thing. The public health officer was a friendly, beautiful lady. Not was a friendly, beautiful lady without a comma. No, you are separating two adjectives. A comma is also used to indicate a pause in a sentence, like I alluded to, with two parts. An example, before you eat, comma, you pause. Wash your hands. You cannot say, before you eat, full stop, wash your hands. No, that is the same sentence, but you want to pause, you want to take in some saliva, okay? So you are pausing there. Before you eat, wash your hands. That's how it should be. Then, a comma is also used before a direct quotation, which is the direct speech. Here is an example to start. The girl said, are you getting that? The girl said, comma, there should always be a comma here. Then whatever the girl said must be now in what we call quotation marks or speech marks. Whatever the girl said must be there. But before that, there must be a comma. The girl said, comma, then you specify what the girl said. These are some of the uses of this punctuation mark called comma. Number 7 is what we call the colon. This is a symbol. Like this and this one. This is the colon. Others say full colon, two full stops in that manner. Where do we use this and when? It is used to introduce a list of things. You are introducing a list of things. That's where this comes in. Here is an example. I carried many things. Now I want to list those things that I carried. I carried many things. Then there should be this. Then I'll list books, pencils, rubbers, and a sharpener. Full stop. You cannot put a comma here. I carried many things, comma. Then you are saying things is part of the many things that you carry. But in the actual context, in the actual sense, you are saying these are some of the things that you carry. You see that? So at this point here, you'll be able to put four or the column. It is also used to introduce an explanation. You are introducing an explanation. Full colon is used or colon is used. An example is here. The learners were excited to hear the good news. What good news is that? Full colon here. Then what good news is that? Their school emerged the first in the national examination. Are you seeing that? The learners were excited to hear the good news. Full colon or colon. Their school emerged the first in the national examination. Those are the two major ways in which the colon is used. English, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is a practical subject. It must be practiced every day. It's a language. So we learn by practicing. So if you're not practicing, then it's something else. Do not be misled by people who say, in the exam we just enter English, we don't study English. No, it doesn't work like that, I'm telling you. It doesn't work like that. Number 8 is what is called semicolon. Semicolon has a full stop and a comma. That's a semicolon. But where exactly do we use semicolon? It is used, one, to join two related main clauses. The clauses are related, therefore, there will be a semicolon. For example, avoid unprotected sex. You can catch HIV and AIDS. They are related. But how do we separate them? Semicolon will be used. Avoid unprotected sex. You can catch HIV and AIDS. So there will be semicolon in between. The second one is to separate items in a series that contains commas. In a series that contains commas, you can use semicolon to separate them. An example is here. I had bought some items. Remember, here we said full colon must be there, is it? Or colon. I had bought some items. Now, the items are in groups, so to say. Fruits, semi here, semicolon. Avocados, apples. This and this one here are under fruits. Then we have some drinks, semicolon, soda, fruit juice, and water. So you are separating items in a series of commas or in a series that contains commas. Basically, that is where we use the semicolon. Okay? Then we have number 9 here, which is called the speech marks. They look like this. These are speech marks. When you see this, then we're talking about speech marks. What are these speech marks? They are put at the beginning and at the end of the exact words spoken by someone in a direct speech. You have to put quotation marks or speech marks here at the beginning and at the end of group of words, exact group of words that someone has used. Let me give you an example. Mr. Kalunga said. You see that? Mr. Kalunga said. At that point, you put a comma. Mr. Kalunga said. This is what I'm doing. Let me just show you it. So I'm saying, Mr. Kalunga said, I'm interested in that. Mr. Kalunga said, comma, then open speech mark. See that? Then there will be group of words, exact group of words that Mr. Kalunga used. Mr. Kalunga said, if you are committed, you will be able to pass, or you pass the exam. I see that? Exact words from Mr. Kalunga there. Mr. Kalunga said. Then at the end, you close. So whatever will be inside here are the exact words that Mr. Kalunga used. That is about speech marks. These are not the only punctuation marks, ladies and gentlemen, that are used in our language. There are many. But how do you get to understand everything? English language is a practical subject. It must be practiced each and every time. But how? Books, reading books, movies, those who are good at watching movies, okay, and many other things, provided you are able to learn something out of that, then that is okay, that is very fine. That is the way we improve. That is the way we improve, because we will be able to learn how others have been using certain words that you might not even have heard before. All right? That is the way we learn. It's a language. It's a language that must be just like any other language. If I want to learn Bemba, if I want to learn Tonga, I should be practicing. It's the same way with this language called English. We just practice. We are not above everybody. No, it's not possible. There are a lot of mistakes being made by Mr. Kalunga. A lot in this language. Because I also keep learning. And that's the way things are supposed to be done. By doing that, you are able to improve even your vocabulary. Please, I encourage you to be studying. Encourage you to be reading different kinds of books, different types of novels. Then you will learn and improve. Alright? This is not the only thing, punctuation marks, that are cardinal or important in your study, in your English study. Remember, spellings must be on top of things. Spellings must be there. Paragraphing must also be there. Okay? You need to know how to arrange paragraphs. I'm sure you've noticed, or maybe you might be a victim, whereby you say, but this paper I wrote, the composition that came, it was argumentative and I had ideas, I knew everything about it. But for the surprise, you get something opposite. There are certain things that you might or you did not understand at that particular time. The punctuation marks, your grammar, how you were connecting, constructing sentences, the spellings, your handwriting as well. Very important. Very important, you've heard me well. Your handwriting matters. The way you are seeing my handwriting here is totally different from the way I write, for example, a document, a special document going to someone. Even you, at your final exam, the marker should be able to see, not you start struggling to see some of the ways. No. If it means writing like this, please do. My name They should be able to see everything. That is the way things are supposed to be done. In that way, you will not be disappointed. And then English is about knowing the format of writing whatever you are given. It's about the format. When we say write, for example, an argumentative composition, how am I going to start? How is it supposed to be done at the end? Have you seen that? Speech, report, a tour guide, or anything that you've been given. It's about the format. Once you know the format, you gather the points before you start writing, gather the points together, then the points start expanding them. You see that it will just be, not whereby you just see the question, immediately you start writing. I'm telling you, you won't be able to write one paragraph with everything goes. You even be able to forget this same spelling, that. Okay, and avoid, a student under this language, avoid those shortcuts before you start writing before. Such kind of thing. No, avoid such kind of things. Huh? Please. Everything will be well. Thank you very much for watching.